All right, we are live. Welcome back to the Profit First Show. I'm your host, Jay Askew. Y'all, we got a new mic. If you're new here, you wouldn't know, but if you know, you know. We got a new mic, man. We had to celebrate because we just got monetized on YouTube. So shout out to y'all for real, because I wouldn't be here without you all. I wouldn't even reach that milestone without you all. And that's been a goal of mine for years. So it took me a year and 5 months. And for those who are interested in knowing how you can monetize YouTube and the things that I've learned, all right, because I do value actually proximity, meaning I'm not some blown up YouTuber yet where I'm disconnected from the audience, and I don't ever want to be disconnected from you all. So I want to document what it took for me to get monetized and open up another income stream just by uploading content. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we're going to get into today's topic. It's kind of like a little segment today. So obviously, the background changed. It's the morning. I got to go to my 9 to 5. You got to go to your 9 to 5, or you're already on your 9 to 5 watching this. So, shh. Anyways, hey, EBT is a touchy subject because it's February 3rd and February 1st. There was new work requirements in order for people to continue getting their EBT benefits, which is exactly what we're going to tap into this morning and react to off of what people are saying, what they're doing, and we're going to be talking about their finances. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, whether you agree or disagree. Hey, it's two sides to every coin, baby. But we're always going to go and speak our truth on this channel. Anyways, let's get into it. All right.
They wanted me calling the food stamp office until they give me some stamps. Since they say I don't qualify, I'm finna call and put my stomach on the phone.
Her stomach?
Yeah.
Department of Human Services, how can I help you? Human Services, how can I help you?
Bruh.
I can barely hear you, sweetheart. Can you speak up?
You hear my stomach growling. I'm hungry.
Oh, okay. I apologize about that. Have you filled out an application with us?
Yes, I filled out plenty of applications with y'all. But y'all don't want to give it to a person in need. Y'all want to give it to just anybody. Anybody but me. Anybody but me.
Well, if you don't qualify, have you tried the local shelters?
I said I'm hungry, not homeless, ma'am.
Imagine being so entitled to where you're complaining to other grown-ups, adults, that you're hungry. She looks like she could be working, bruh. I mean, she's operating a vehicle. Now, granted, I don't know her own story, but if you got the energy, the audacity, the work ethic to upload content about your growling ass stomach and complain to somebody, you got to pay the phone bill. You know what I'm saying? Shorty got a whole, what's that, an iPhone? At least that's at least an iPhone 12. You know what I'm saying? She got look, bruh. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? If you hungry, is that what people be doing? They be abusing the system like that? And then calling and complaining? When they're eligible to work?
I've been receiving food stamps for the last 7 years.
That's too long.
That's what I'm saying.
Consistently. I just received a letter in the mail telling me that I now have to do community service hours.
I like where we're going with this. It's teaching you a valuable lesson about work ethic. You need to take heed of this lesson and, embrace it.
Hours, at least 15 hours a week.
15 hours a week?
Look, why are people complaining about working 15 hours a week when the whole program is supported by working class Americans? Make it make sense. You feel like you're too good enough to work, so you should depend on the government and not even help yourself get off. I have read several comments with reacting to these type of videos over the past couple of months of people who used to be on EBT and SNAP benefits, and they were actually proud of themselves for getting off. It's almost like graduating. You know what I'm saying? They got themselves in a better situation. These people rather stay stuck so they can continue getting fed through the umbilical cord of the government. And you're telling me there doesn't need to be any type of stipulations as to what's required for people to have EBT? We don't need to raise the bar on that. They don't have to work. So you get to eat and you can work, but you're deciding not to work so you can eat for free and then complain about junk food. The junk food ain't even helping you, baby. It's not even helping you. It's not even.
Let's up that. Let's get to 30. Let's get to 40. Teach you what a work week's like. That would be the way to go.
I have to take out of my time things that I do every day.
You don't work. You have a lot of free time.
Isn't it crazy for the people who literally waste their time, say they have no time? I don't have no time. But time is on my side because I manage my time. I work a 9 to 5. I work more than 40 hours a week. I do the YouTube videos. I work out. And you don't have time? And if we talking about kids here, you created them. I'm not even sorry about saying it, bro. Listen, no kid should have to struggle for food. They didn't ask to be here. But you as a parent, whether you got pregnant on purpose or if it was just, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's something called your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be a rocket science. You don't need to be a rocket science. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand with great power comes great responsibility. We learned that in Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? We learned that in Spider-Man. Uncle Ben taught us that. We don't need nobody else to tell us we need to be responsible. Forget Trump. We just listen to Uncle Ben. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Ben taught us that. Y'all be acting like you're not responsible for the actions that you've taken and other people are supposed to take care of you.
To do community service so that I can still continue to receive the benefits that I receive.
I think this is a wonderful program they are starting. Make these people learn that work ethic and working matters and get them in the mode of, well, supporting themselves. We've coddled too long. Let's get out.
He said it, point on, support themselves. Would you not want to support yourself? You know what I'm saying? Would you not want to support yourself? Like you're not even your own cheerleader. You're not even your own motivator. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? You might as well be a bot.
I voted for Trump, and I don't agree with him taking away the EBT benefits from the American people. This is what I just heard a creator say. And so now my thought process is, were you not aware of what you were voting for? Not who, but what? Because clearly you could not have been fully aware. So then that makes me think,
But whoever is fully aware, let's be honest, you're not sure what's actually going to happen when it comes down to these politics. A lot of politicians be lying. Sure, you might vote for somebody because of there's something that you like more about them than the other person, but I digress.
most people are voting, like, with this past election, were we just making votes because Trump was a white man and Kamala is a black woman?
But here's the thing too, black folks do the same thing. Let's clear the field. All right. Soon as a black person knows that a black person is in office, it's, oh yeah, immediate support. Bruh, I'm not into racial politics. I don't judge a man by his color. I judge a man by his character. And you know what? It's so contradicting that when you think about it, Martin Luther King, this was the dream, that a man not be judged by his color, but how do people specifically, it could be white or black or whatever. How do some people choose who to vote for? Skin color. But this ain't what Martin Luther King stood for. You know what I'm saying? So whether you supported him or not, I ain't living that time or whatever. But the whole point is, that was the dream. Now y'all want to be identified as the color because you're a color and then choose. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm not looking at a politician because of, oh, he's white, so he don't want black people to get in this position. Man, if you don't get out of here with that old ass mindset, we're not living in slavery anymore. You make your choices. You decide to watch Netflix. You decide to pop out them babies. You decide to not invest into yourself so you can't get financially ahead. You're in debt.
Or a woman? Is that what your vote was based on, rather than what was going to come into play from each of these candidates? This is why we have to read. We have to.
Yeah, facts. You got to read in general, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I have been personally paying more attention to self-help podcasts as I'm driving to and from work, to and from the gym, because I know music is only going to get me so far. If I want to stay in this mindset of being self-educated and learning what's happening in today's world and adjusting to what the market is out here, which is why so many people are behind, I have to stay ahead. You have to invest not only money, but time into yourself so you can make the wisest decisions. It's called discernment. You know what I'm saying? Even the word says the wise love to learn. And y'all just stop. Well, not everybody. You know what I'm saying? Most people stop learning once they get out of college or high school.
Read to understand why we are making the choices that we are making. This is mind-boggling.
That's true. Facts.
So Trump is supposedly changing the requirements to qualify for EBT, Section 8, and welfare. So if you are on these things or trying to get on these things, Trump is requiring you to work at least 30 hours a week to maintain or qualify for these assistances. This is one of those changes that he's making that I don't think I'm upset with, because a lot of
I was so happy when I heard her say that. Reason why I said I was so happy was because, well, we recorded this like 15 minutes ago and we had some technical difficulties. So I'm so happy to see someone of color actually say that there's good in actually requiring people who are eligible to work to have to work to continue getting EBT, because most of the time people don't even be creating a plan to get off of EBT. So you just want to depend on the government for the rest of your life. And there will always be a gap between the have and have nots just because of those type of people. And I'm always going to be appreciative of having, because there's always people who are going to be at the bottom, and that's okay. I'm just not going to be one of them. And you know what? That's a choice, just like it's a choice to stay at the bottom. It doesn't matter where you were born or what your upbringing. You were dealt the cards you were dealt in life to help you become better. That is how you help people. My struggles in life help people. Me having unfortunate whatever events in my life wasn't just to happen just so I can feel bad about myself. It was so I can have adversity, build strength, because a lot of y'all want to be strong and independent, want to have more finances, but a lot of the times it takes you being in that moment of struggle, of learning the lesson the hard way sometimes. But they just want to be comfortable at the bottom. That's fine. Let them do it. We gonna eat.
people use these assistances as crutches because they know that they can rely on this and don't have to do anything or do the bare minimum. So he's kind of pulling that crutch away from them and taking that dependency away from them. So I don't think I'm mad with this one. But if you're one of those that I'm talking about that know that they get this and they're lazy as hell and they voted for him, don't.
So basically the bare minimum bar has been raised. I'm completely okay with that.
Want to see a racist?
Want to know why I'm not having an aneurysm over people losing their food stamps on November 1st? Here's why.
Them grocery shop. Okay. Go by faster. One of you. This what I pick and this what he picked.
I tell you what, how about this instead? If you're on food stamps, you get a pre-selected box of meat, bread, rice, food staples, and fruits and vegetables. No more handing you a debit card filled with other people's cash for you to go load up on Oreos.
What is it about government?
You know what? Before he even gets into it, because I think he's going to call her a racist or whatever. But, here's the thing. It kind of reminded me of like high school and middle school. Like, I had friends that I guess, their parents didn't make a certain amount of income and so they got free lunch. But I never saw them like have all the additional snacks unless, they went out of pocket and paid for it just like we had to. But I didn't get free lunch. I'm not here to step on anybody or, oh yeah, I'm all this in a bag of chips. Like, no. I wasn't in control of how much my parents made. I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I definitely didn't grow up having the latest and greatest shoes and the fashion. Look, my parents was not buying me a ton of name brand, but they did take care of our necessities, and I am appreciative of that. But it reminded me of free lunch. Free lunch, you got free lunch. You didn't get all the other things that you could have gotten if you got free lunch. You had to pay extra. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below.
Distance that brings out the racism in people. Most SNAP recipients are white women. It was diabolical for you to find a black woman and use her as your face of the abuse of SNAP. That video.
All right, so maybe she did do that or not, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, white or black, whoever's the majority of EBT spending, we know that there's people who are abusing the system no matter who or what their color is. So at the end of the day, there needs to be a bar that's raised. That's the way I think about it.
Probably would have looked a lot different if you'd used a white woman with her children, but this country loves to give the white working class a sense of superiority over black people.
I definitely don't think this is racist. I don't think she was coming from that perspective. I also believe that a lot of black people or people of color definitely, damn, my computer's about to run out of space. Got me. I've been creating too much content. But I definitely believe people of color are definitely, sometimes they like to victimize themselves just to make themselves feel like they, have a disadvantage. And I'm like, bro, that doesn't help anybody. You think just because you're this color, you actually, you actually are, you got it bad. All right. Damn, bro. My computer ran out of space. Anyways, let's continue on.
Every dollar spent in the SNAP program leads to $1.50 returning to the economy. It also creates consumers out of people who would not be. That woman would not have been able to spend $400 in that store if not for SNAP. And that helps everybody who works in the store, everybody who delivers to that store, everybody who relies on that store. Because if you subtract a significant portion of that store's consumers, a significant portion of the consumers to the economy who happen to be working class people who are getting their money from SNAP, then the store will have to raise its prices. If you remove a bunch of consumers, the store will have to raise its prices. And that will make life harder for you, white lady. I know you think that black woman is just taking from you, but what she is inadvertently doing is helping keep prices down for you.
But that's the that's the grocery store's issue. You know what I'm saying? So we can honestly say that, yeah, if the SNAP program ended or was more strict, then okay, the prices would go up. But that's the market. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have to be people who don't choose to work, and we don't know the last lady situation, who don't have to work, are able to just get free food just because they cry broke and don't want to work. And we allow that to happen just because we want lower groceries. I say it's easier to just make more money. And then the groceries don't feel as expensive.
It is not selfish of me to want to keep what I earn. It is selfish of able-bodied people to demand that I pay for their groceries forever and ever. There is a massive amount of people on food stamps who have no business being on food stamps, and they should have been cut off a long time ago. We shouldn't need a government shutdown to cut those people off. If you are so angelic and generous that you just think that everybody should have free everything forever, then you can pay for that. It is not virtuous to force other people to pay for causes that you think are important. If you have kids under 6, there is no work requirement for food stamps and no time limit. And even if you don't have kids, you can stay on food stamps forever as long as you work a mere 20.
See, this is this is the problem that we had before. No work requirement, and you could stay up there forever. Why would somebody who wants to be comfortable want to get out that situation? There's no motivation, there's no incentive. Because they could get everything for free, not have to work. Like the world don't work like that, unfortunately. Now, maybe if it did, great, but it doesn't. So suck it up, buttercup. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make sense to see people with an entitled mindset talk about why they should have to work 15 to 20 hours a week to keep their EBT. 15 to 20 hours a week ain't a lot. Obviously, it's a part-time job. So guess what? If you still get to eat for free and you work in a part-time job, you're going to have more money in your pocket. People literally are that lazy. They don't want more money in their pocket. They want to keep getting free food and have less money in their pocket.
Hours a week. I have not taken a week off since June of 2024. So forgive me if I don't feel bad for people who are working 20 hours a week complaining that their food stamps are getting cut off.
I don't even think he needs to be apologetic. The truth is the truth, and you can't beat it. At the end of the day, people who abuse the system, they make it look bad for those who do need it. At the end of the day, though, if you are eligible to work, your ass should work. you need to be working. You know what I'm saying? All of us got to do it who are actually working. What makes you better than us? What makes you so much more entitled that you believe you shouldn't have to work? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
I haven't waded into the SNAP discourse because it pisses me off, because it enrages me how wrong so many people are about a program they don't understand. They've never had to look at an application. They have no concept of how hard it is to actually get SNAP benefits and then keep them. Most of the individuals that you are complaining about are employed and trying to survive on something that you couldn't do, at all.
All right, in this situation, we're not talking about most people. I don't believe most people are abusing it. It's the percentage of people who are abusing it who aren't working.
Back up. You are fueling manufactured rage at somebody who is taking a penny off of the ground while you're letting somebody walk out your house with every possession you own and your life savings to go into a military industrial complex or just to fatten up their pockets. That is literally what is happening. The amount of information that you have to give up about yourself in order to get a measly $150 a month to try to survive is insanity. You have to provide
Okay, so why even cry about how much information you have to expose? Let's just take this into perspective. You're on social media. You know how much data they have on you? You know how much information you have to give this, like social media has access to you? So at the end of the day, what are you really giving up? There's cameras everywhere. From the time you step out your house, there's cameras pointing at you everywhere, at traffic lights, when you go into the grocery store, when you go into the bank, obviously, when you go to AutoZone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no place where there's not a camera. What are you actually giving up? Everybody is seeing you if they want to. And not only that, with social media, people willingly give up that information. So what are we really talking about here? How much, do you guys just don't understand how much you have to give information over? Like, bro, let's be real. If you didn't want to give the information up, you wouldn't, but they do. Why? Because it's a benefit. Just like it's a benefit to go on social media and be like, you know what? I don't want to give up my information, but I want to stay in contact with my friends because I don't get to see them all the time. And I want to be a little nosy and then, snoop around and see what so-and-so is doing from school and this and that. You know what I'm saying? You know your information is out there.
that you have. You have to provide every amount of money you have in any bank account. You have to provide who lives into your home. You have to provide so much about yourself. You're a constant influx of like data stream for the United States government, because then your employer where you're working, they have to submit forms that say, yep, this person is making this much, and yep, this is the amount that they got last month. And then you have to provide pay stubs. And then the second.
All right, so she's talking about doing it the right way. But what about the people who are doing it the wrong way? They obviously aren't doing that, because if they don't work, then how the hell is their employer going to tell them how much money their paycheck was? And again, this new stipulation isn't getting rid of it. It's requiring them, those who are eligible to work, to work.
The second you try to improve your life, get a better job, get anything, then you have to submit that form, and then that will cut it. That will take out the money that you're trying to just have to survive, while then you have everybody yelling at you like it's your fault, when so much of this is system driven.
And I do agree with that part. It more than likely is a trap. Especially when it comes down to depending on the government and then getting off. I do remember specifically a couple years ago, I was apartment shopping. I went to this complex that looked really nice, went into the office. They were like, yeah, we got a backlist, a wait list for like a year. And I was like, damn, why is it so much? Like a year? Are you kidding me? It's not even a city. And she was like, well, we have apartments to where, it was some type of housing plan or housing assistant program. And I was like, oh, what's that? And she was basically like, if you are under a certain amount of income per month or per year or something, then you're eligible to live here and the rent is a lot less expensive. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. But I wasn't looking for that. So I could see how, getting into a program or a public service like that it can be a trap. It can hold you back, because once you make more money than what they say you can make to be eligible, you got to go. But I believe that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it might be rough, because it's like, dang, now I got to pay everything. But that's the whole point. You shouldn't want to have to depend on that program your whole life. At some point, you got to learn how to fly. At some point, you got to make the leap. It's called taking a risk. When people invest into college and get a degree, they're not guaranteed the job, they're guaranteed the degree. The degree gives you a higher probability of getting a higher paying job. It doesn't guarantee a higher paying job, which is why you see so many people crying broke who graduated college, because they didn't get a higher paying job. And so they took a risk that obviously didn't end up working for them, but they can continue searching for more jobs that are going to pay them more, which inevitably, hopefully they find one. So everybody takes risk in life. So yeah, it could be a system that sets you up and wants to keep you in there and keep you and hold you down. Sure, you can take that perspective. But at the same time, there's other things in life you're going to have to deal with that are going to allow you to say, you know what? I got to take a risk. I may lose something, but I also gain something bigger. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
Alabama is now rolling out chipped EBT cards. Your EBT card will be like a credit card now. It's not the entire state of Alabama. These are the counties that they're starting with. It's like a pilot program. They're testing it out for 30 to 45 days. And they say after that, then the rest of the counties will receive chipped EBT cards. Now, only other states that have kind of adopted this already, that's kind of slowly rolling out, is Michigan and California. And you already know, once these states successfully come through and it's working good, it is every other state.
Yeah, it's probably going to expand, but I'm interested, like, why is it like this? Is it so it can have more security on the card?
Follow suit, everybody has their own time. Each state has their own time how they're going to release this right here, but that's going to be the new wave of EBT cards. You will have chip cards like credit cards now. All your information will be on the back. You're going to have your 3-digit security code just like a credit card. They say you don't have to do anything. All your money, all your food stamps or whatever, your money from the old EBT cards will flip right over to the new chip EBT cards. They say only problems that some people are already having, because they already been rolling out in Alabama, is that certain retail stores haven't updated their system, so it's showing an error. They say if it shows an error when you use your chipped EBT card, just let the retailer know that they have to update their system, and it have to be updated to the point that if the chip doesn't work, you can use the swipe it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a new update on the EBT cards, man. Like
That's
I
actually pretty interesting. I heard this rolled out in a couple of other states. Let me know. Have you seen this happen? And why do you think it's happening? I believe so it can be more secure, apparently, but I also read that there's more risk with it with like a lot of fraud. So I guess we'll see how this unfolds as it expands into other states. Subscribe if you like the content.
Somebody said, if you're not working, you're not going to get food stamps. You have to work part-time in order to get food stamps. Or they're going to cut you off. That's what somebody said.
Okay, here we go. Again with this. She didn't really share her perspective, but it's like you could tell with the foreshadowing music in the background that it's like haunting. Oh my God, they're requiring you to work to eat. That's what everybody else got to do. That's what I got to do. Oh my God, imagine a world where people are like, oh man, are you serious? I got to go to the gym to be in shape. Oh man, I got to study to know the information. Oh man, I got to eat healthy food to actually be healthy. Ain't that some BS? Of course, it's easier to slack off and be lazy and not do the extra work. I was trying to come up with a big word there, but it didn't come out. But it's all good. But delusion and entitlement. That's what I call it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. We're going to be live later on tonight. I will see you guys tonight. All right, let's get it. All right, that was a quick little, oh shoot, I was about to move the mic up, man, because I ended the video. I was about to move the mic up, but no, that was a good little episode, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go live later on tonight and finish the rest of the topics. All right. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. We had somebody comment the other day. He was like, yo, you need to speak louder. So I got a new mic. I'm speaking a little bit louder. I also changed the audio settings. Let me know what you guys think about that if you made it this far. I appreciate every single one of you all, and I'll see you tonight. I'm out. Peace.